Vinny, here we are, looking at XCOM.
XCOM. Hey, Jeff.
Enemy Within. We're joined by a duo here. We got Brian Roundy in here. He's going to be playing, while Nanda Gupta here, you're going to talk to us a little bit.
That's right.
About this game you're working on, this hot expansion.
Yeah, this is the expansion pack for XCOM Enemy Unknown. Came out last year. We've done a lot of work on this. It's pretty. We're pretty excited to be able to talk about the next bit. So all of our talk with you guys and with everyone else has been about the tactical stuff that we've added in this expansion, and now we're talking about some of the strategy stuff. And for the strategy game, a new threat has arisen.
Is it within?
Are they aliens?
In fact, it is within, and it is not aliens.
What?
Oh man, it's sharks, isn't it?
So, no, that's the next one.
Yeah.
XCOM meteorology.
Right. Yeah.
Brian's gonna go to mission control and pass some time here, and we'll see what this is about.
Commander, our intelligence sources indicate that a previously unknown organization is attempting to undermine XCOM field operations. We believe this group harbors some misguided sympathies for the invaders and is intent on acquiring alien technology and artifacts critical to your efforts. Early reports indicate this organization calls itself Exalt. We trust you will isolate the source of this new threat and eliminate it.
Commander, the Council has provided some additional resources to help us deal with these traitors. We can begin scanning for additional Exalt cell locations and launch covert operations to disrupt their activity via the Situation Room.
All right. So my first question is: Exalt spelled X-A-L-T?
No, it's got an E on the front.
What?
Okay.
You got to distinguish somehow, right?
So, Exalt is a paramilitary secret society that works against XCOM during the invasion. What
would you describe XCOM as?
XCOM is certainly there's nothing para about how military they are.
Okay.
What Exalt does, Exalt's reacted. So many people react to the alien invasion in different ways, right? XCOM reacts with resolve. Most people react with fear. Exalt reacts as if this is an opportunity for them, right? Exalt has been around for a long time, working in the shadows. Maybe they know something. Maybe they saw this coming a little bit. Maybe not. But the upshot for them is that when the aliens came, they saw their moment.
Okay.
They saw their moment.
Okay.
The aliens' project of genetically perfecting the human race, admittedly at the cost of millions of lives, Exalt sees that as
maybe not such a bad thing.
Yeah, kind of worth it. Kind of worth it.
Sure.
And Exalt,
I can sympathize with that a little. Yeah. All right.
And Exalt also sees alien technology as XCOM sees alien technology as a means of defeating the invaders. Exalt sees alien technology as a means of ruling the world once the aliens have gone. Right?
Okay.
Exalt seeks to rule what is left.
So they're pretty much like Cobra.
There are some ominous parallels there.
Okay.
For sure. So can you back out for a sec, real fast? So here's the new Situation Room. This is a new layer in the Situation Room, the Covert Ops layer, and as you can see, we've got one Exalt cell that has launched an operation against XCOM. In this case, it was a propaganda operation that sort of agitates and raises panic. And so we're going to go on a covert operation against it. And the first step in doing that is obviously once you've targeted the cell, you're going to pick one of your soldiers to become a covert operative. And the covert operative has a cool new outfit and some new tricks, but it only gets to use a pistol. So go ahead and pick one.
Some nut calling himself Commander Straker has been all over the news ranting about shadow operatives.
Okay, so go ahead and send someone, and now it takes some time for a covert operation to resolve, right? So he has sent a soldier undercover into Mexico to go undermine that cell, to go disperse that cell. So now there's a timer. As you can see, there's a covert operation 6 days, so he's going to pass 6 days, and then we will be...
So this is all taking place during the original XCOM campaign?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes, this is all at the same time. So this is as if the aliens weren't enough to deal with.
Sure.
Now you've got
So
these
is this
guys.
something where once you have Enemy Within, will this always be there, or can you, if you wanted to play without Exalt, could you kind of roll back to existing kind of vanilla XCOM?
So on PC, you can you get to pick.
Okay.
And on the consoles, on PS3 and Xbox 360, the Commander Edition supports only the combined version.
Okay. Yeah.
If you have the original, then you can still play that.
Yeah.
Okay, so our operative is ready for extraction. So we're going to send a squad to go in and pick up our operative.
Oh wow. Okay.
Our operative has cracked the cell, has the intel, and needs to be pulled out because Exalt is onto him.
That guy needs sleeves.
He has genetic modifications.
What?
People with genetic modifications don't need sleeves.
Don't need sleeves?
They have genetic sleeves.
Oh, man.
On the
So
inside.
are you saying Long Island is all genetically modified? 'Cause
Yeah, that's probably a safe
All right.
assumption at
'cause
this
when
point.
I grew up, sleeves were optional, man.
Let's see. So he's going to kid out a little. She's already got the med kit. Nothing can go wrong here. So, this is a combat mission, but we've introduced 2 completely new mission types to support covert operations. So there are 2 different kinds. He happened to get the one that's called covert extraction. This is where the covert operative, you'll see in a second, but the covert operative has to go and hack 2 Exalt comrades and get out, along with the rest of the squad, while the squad protects him or her from Exalt's operatives.
Okay.
All right.
So we're gonna fly to Mexico, and
We're deploying to Mexico in hopes of eliminating an Exalt cell in the
one of our new maps, one of our many new maps. This is sort of a highway construction, sort of rural take on that.
So how do you send in your current squaddies to become enhanced?
You mean for covert operative duty?
No. Like how do I get my guys to not wear sleeves and have?
Have
the
genetic
enhancement?
modifications.
Yeah.
So you build a genetics lab.
Okay, and then
genetics lab.
throw guys in there.
Yeah,
the data from the remaining relays.
and then your autopsies.
Well,
that's essential.
New objective received.
Yeah, you build a genetics lab, and then you do autopsy research, which will get you genetic modification options for your soldiers. So, his covert operative has to hack Exalt comm relays, and this is Exalt.
Oh wow. They're well-dressed men.
Well, if you're going to start a secret society, I think it's important
Dress
to look
code.
good.
Yeah.
It's interesting. So with the visuals on them, we definitely wanted them. We thought about going very conventional, sort of Snake Eyes commando look on them, and
Yeah.
decided that didn't capture the feel of them very well. We wanted a sense of a bunch of guys who could be walking around with you on the street, and with a couple of quick changes, they are ready to do what it takes. So, yeah, we definitely went for a unique look on them. All right, you got a flanking shot. Six points, but no crit. So he's still up. So in this mission, because this is a covert extraction mission, as you can see under the objectives part, Brian's covert operative is going to have to hack both of the Exalt comm relays, and then get out. This is actually the first mission type that we've done where you don't have to kill all the enemies.
Right.
Taking his shot. And here is his covert operative, who is pre-placed on the map, but is part of the squad.
Got it.
And that's a dead relay, because it doesn't have a yellow arrow pointing to it. But hey, it's good cover.
So what are the? Are you guys talking about what the genetic modifications get you at this point? Like,
Oh yeah. Genetic modifications are a whole variety of sort of otherworldly abilities you can give your soldiers. In this save, because wow,
nice.
wow, nice shooting, Tex. Because so genetic modifications, they unlock all sorts of different abilities. And in this save, because it's a sort of an early game save, early mid game save, and your progress in genetic modifications depends on how much autopsy research you do. His soldiers only have a couple of the sort of intro genetic modifications, but later you'll get access to some really powerful ones. One of the most useful ones in covert operations is called mimetic skin, which lets you blend into your surroundings.
Oh, wow.
And gives you sort of a light stealth mode, which is pretty awesome.
How much of an impact does that have on percentages to hit and stuff like that? Is it really significant? Or?
Pretty dramatic, because you can't target somebody who's stealth.
Okay, well,
So the mimetic skin is not as good as stealth because you have to sort of begin and end your move in full cover.
Right.
So right now it looks like Roundy's taking a pretty clever approach to this, which is to keep his operative safe until Exalt is a little bit less numerous in the area, and so he's got a lot of flanking shots here.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting choice here. I think in that case he had the best shot against the Exalt sniper, and in general when you want to take out those bastards, snipers are really not your friends.
It says sniper right in the name.
Yeah.
You don't want
Right.
you don't want to deal with those guys.
Yeah. The Exalt Heavy can also be a handful because he's got a rocket launcher, just like your Heavy does.
Yeah.
And admittedly, part of designing Exalt, part of the fun of designing Exalt was giving the player some of the headaches that the AI has had to deal with.
So what impact does Exalt have on the game's multiplayer? Does that mean now you can have XCOM versus Exalt and that sort of stuff?
Absolutely, yeah. You can have Exalt is fully supported in multiplayer, so you can have mixed Exalt alien squads, XCOM alien squads, XCOM and Exalt on the same side, however you want.
Risky move.
Well, yeah, because he's only got a pistol.
I mean, if you don't shoot, it's a 0% chance of hit, you know?
Yeah.
They're egging him on.
Put a grenade in there. Got a grenade where you don't save it. Yeah.
There's a grenade coming.
Covert.
So you'll notice we now scan line affected targets of AoE attacks and the cover that'll be destroyed. That was something that really helped players when we, before. It's just we've made a lot of little improvements in general.
Have there been any meaningful changes to just kind of hit percentages and stuff like that, or
not hit percentages? We like hit percentages.
Where they're at? Yeah, cool.
But we, for example, we changed panic.
Okay.
So panic is less friendly fire is less likely on panic in panicking situations now. Panicked units all have a hit debuff instead of being able to fire at full efficiency, which was a little weird.
Yeah.
So you can take any of these new modifications in the genetic stuff, and also there's new psychic stuff, right?
No, we didn't add anything new psionically. We added cybernetics.
Cybernetics.
We added mech troopers. Yes, and so you can use your mech troopers and your genetics.
In the normal campaign too, right? Like against the aliens?
Well,
this is all. It's all still one campaign.
This is all still one campaign.
Yeah.
But you'll notice Exalt Heavies also have holo targeting, just like your guys do. But yes, you can use them against the aliens. But covert ops, which can be pretty challenging, are definitely made. Definitely turn some tables with cybernetic soldiers.
Are there any real benefits to taking Exalt operatives alive, like stunning them, or I mean, you can't?
They will not be taken alive.
Can you do autopsies or anything on them? Is there?
They will not be taken alive.
Okay, all right.
If you stun one, they have a particularly gruesome way of making sure they don't. They don't spill any secrets. So I didn't put an arc thrower in here, but that would have been funny. Oh.
Brutal.
Making a call here. So it looks like he's got. Can you target in on those guys so we can? So we've got an Exalt Heavy with a rocket launcher there, and then the other one. The other one's going to be that looks like an Exalt Operative, or is that a medic? No, it's an operative. So the Exalt Operative is a little bit like your Assault, but more of a utility player. And they're all pretty dangerous.
Man.
especially if you can't hit them.
Oh. Come on, Drifter.
So he's a squad side sniper. He's got a squad side shot on someone, but pretty good squad side shot on someone.
Yeah.
Or that's not a squad side shot. His regular shot looks like the better one, but winged him. That's good. Get some damage on him. Oh, all flanked. That's not good.
So will the Exalt missions kind of work the same way as the traditional missions in terms of countries that have Exalt in them? Will they're what is it called, the like alarms raised? Yeah, the panic level.
Yeah, Exalt cells in countries, whether they're hidden or exposed, will be will have a deleterious effect on panic. The thing about Exalt on the strategy layer is something. It is something that I think XCOM really wanted, was a new enemy with a new way of confronting it, where the player has a chance to dictate the tempo, or at least have to influence the tempo. You know, fighting against the aliens. Brian's pulling out one of the new tools we have, the Ghost Grenade. This is a grenade that you throw at your friends instead of your enemies, and it stealths.
Yeah.
So he's going to give stealth mode to both of these guys for a little while. And with Exalt on the strategy layer, you get the player has the choice about how aggressively to go after Exalt cells, how aggressively to pursue covert operations. Oh, that's a facepalm.
Heartbreaker.
Yeah.
Is it really a meaningful choice? Because it seems like if you don't deal with it, I mean, the panic situation would just get out of control, right? Because
man.
let me put it this way:
Planted on the holo-targeted guy.
the panic situation always gets out of control when I play. So is this like how much harder would you say
raising
the game
panic,
is now?
Raising panic isn't the only thing that Exalt does.
Okay.
Exalt has a choice of 3 active operations. They can conduct propaganda, which you saw, which increases panic. They can conduct sabotage, which attacks your money supply.
Oh man, they sound like jerks.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is suddenly going south. Oh, this is going south. Oh God!
He'll probably that'll be fine.
His covert operative's alive. In this mission, if your covert operative dies, he or she is the only one who can hack the relays. And so if your
mission
covert operative
failure.
dies, then you will need to evac. Wow.
You got this.
The third thing that Exalt can do on the strategy layer is they can conduct a research hack, which reverses your research progress.
Oh wow. Does that reverse it on completed projects or just projects that are in motion?
Just ones that are in motion.
Okay.
They can't take away tech that you know.
All right.
I needed a crit there. That would have been good. Okay, so covert operative is flanked. At least the car next to her or to him is already exploded. I suppose there's that.
Yeah.
Try to get somewhere safe inside the truck here.
Nice.
We get a. He's only on 1 health left. A pistol shot might actually be the difference.
These are the tough choices, right?
Yeah. The other one's got 2 health.
XCOM!
Pack it up, man.
That's XCOM, baby. So you asked whether it's a false choice. So I don't think so. Exalt is definitely. I mean, can you play through the game while just ignoring Exalt? Yes, it is technically possible to do that. The choice is really: do you just root them out as wherever possible? Do you spend a lot of money doing intel scans, which is how you reveal their cells? Keep Exalt off guard because Exalt can't conduct operations if their cells are not hidden.
Okay.
And so intel scans, you spend money, reveal them, you don't get rid of them, but they cannot conduct operations. Whereas, could be it.
Commander, we've lost our operative.
Pulling you out. Pulling you out.
Can remain in the area and eliminate any remaining Exalt forces, or they can head to the evac zone. It's your call. We have a new objective.
So you can actually finish the mission and then evacuate. You won't get credit for this particular mission?
Here you can clear out Exalt and recover some of their equipment and so forth, or you can just make a run for it. You can just bail. In neither case will you get what you came for, which is the Exalt Intel. Exalt Intel is a new loot item that you can get when successfully completing covert operations, and that gives you clues to the location of the Exalt headquarters, which is randomly determined every game. And so the more clues you have, the more able you'll be to guess at the location of the Exalt headquarters, raid it, and once you've successfully done that, Exalt is defeated.
Is that something that if you just focused on it right out of the gate, could you kind of deal with that before hitting kind of the big kind of story moments against the aliens?
It depends. Because you have to go on covert operations to do this, it depends on Exalt's activity as well.
Okay.
But yeah, you can, if you force a very high tempo on them, you can get to the base pretty quickly. And the other thing is that the player again here has choice. We let you start guessing countries for the HQ location. Oh yeah, now they hit everything.
Yeah.
So this is he has a mission fail, but he does bring everyone home, or sorry, he brings
Hey man.
some home, and and so once you get 3 clues, you will be able to start guessing locations of the country. But if you fail, if you guess a wrong country, you say I think it's in France, and it's not, then France will leave the council.
Oh geez.
Yeah.
So, if you succeed, of course, then okay, here's the base, and we can go after it. The conservative players, or players playing on Iron Man, will probably want to get as many clues as possible to narrow it down to just one country, so that they can be assured of not losing any country to a failed accusation.
Yeah, I can lose countries on my own. I don't need.
You need help?
Yeah.
But players who are sort of risk-preferring or desperate may want to go ahead and guess as soon as they are allowed to and face the consequences. It's up to them. So this is definitely a gameplay mode. This is definitely a lot of new gameplay that we've added. In the strategy layer, the player gets to determine how often to search for cells, what to do about them once they're found, and how aggressively to pursue them. And on the tactical layer, we've added 2 new mission types. You saw one just now, which is covert data extraction, but the other one, covert data recovery, is also a new mission type where you have to protect intel assets on the map from sort of waves of Exalt, and that's more of a control point or king of the hill kind of gameplay.
Sure.
And that's also really fun.
Cool.
And I think with this, up to now, we've talked primarily about tactical stuff.
Right.
At PAX and Gamescom, we talked a lot about cybernetics and genetics and so forth. This is when we're finally getting to talk about the new strategy gameplay that we're adding.
Yeah.
Yes, and the other dimension, another dimension of Enemy Within, right here. Enemy Within. With genetics and cybernetics, Enemy Within was about incorporating the technology of the aliens into the soldiers, literally within the bodies of your own soldiers, to use it against them. Here we're now talking about a literal enemy within, a paramilitary secret society that is undermining you in your fight against the aliens.
Cool. And then have there been any changes made to the aliens themselves at this point, or are they kind of how they were in vanilla XCOM?
We added two new aliens.
Okay.
We added the Mechtoid, which is the sectoid in a cyber suit, and we added the Seeker, which is our first stealth unit, our first stealth alien, who likes to go after your snipers who hang on the back.
So it sounds like you're taking a game that I already was really good at losing at, and then adding a ton of new ways for me to fail.
But we also added new ways for you to confront them.
Yeah,
The genetic modifications. You saw some of the new toys that Brian had access to. The ghost grenade.
I played through most of the game with no med kits. I just said, screw it. If he dies, he dies.
Yeah, then you deserve what you get.
Yeah, well, they signed up for the program.
Yeah, that's
they
true.
knew what they were getting into.
Does any of this affect the kind of end game of the campaign, like with Exalt and the new weapons at your disposal? Let's say
with Exalt, we definitely wanted to add something in the mid game. That was something where we felt the sort of mid to early end game. That was where we felt the game was a little bit too much of a victory lap. XCOM, the course of an XCOM game is very hard to predict, just like it is with any kind of complex strategy game.
Yeah.
And so, but this was definitely something we wanted to kind of spice up that middle part. Of course, Exalt can persist into the late game if you let it. I expect most players will try not to let it.
Sure.
But the end game in Enemy Within is primarily about using your new toys and your new cybernetics and genetics to take on the enemy.
Cool. So
in
this
new ways.
is I mean, we're playing the PC version here. It'll be available as an add-on on the PC, but it's the Commander's Edition is how it'll come to consoles as kind of its own separate thing, right?
Yes, that's a fully, full-featured package with Enemy Unknown, the core elements of Enemy Unknown that we need for this.
Yeah.
The Enemy Within campaign, Operation Slingshot, the Elite Soldier Pack.
Okay, right.
All the stuff we've done.
So almost like a Game of the Year edition plus.
Very much like that, yes.
Okay, great. All right, and when will all this be available?
November 12th, 2013.
Oh, okay,
This
all right.
This November 12th.
So you're
11, 12, 13.
You're just about done then, or getting real close, or?
Oh, we're done.
Okay. All right.
We're done.
This
Cool.
is your victory lap.
Yeah. It's I like being done.
Plenty of time for more empanadas then. All right. Well, thanks for bringing it by, you guys. It's looking pretty cool.
Thanks very much for having me.
All right.
I apologize for being terrible.
Oh, I would have done much worse. So just take some solace in that.
I would have beat it in one shot, man.
well, yeah,
You
all
know
right,
me,
fine, yeah.
XCOM Vinny.
That's right, XCOM. Everyone calls him XCOM Vinny.
That was such a classic XCOM mission where it seems to be going so well
Yeah.
for the first few turns, and then just something
Just
goes wrong,
one thing,
and the whole thing goes.
That's when you
south.
gotta have your finger on the power button to make sure it doesn't autosave.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hurry up, get in there, that last shot.
That's pro tips from XCOM Vinny. All right. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you.